Alex had never imagined that being selected as a human observer on a space station orbiting a distant planet would be this exciting. The station, a massive hub of technology, glimmered like a jewel against the darkness of space. Lights flickered along the corridors, and the hum of machinery blended with the chatter of aliens from all corners of the galaxy. Humans were rare here, but Alex's curiosity and eagerness had earned them this unique position. It had been a long day. Alex had attended briefings about interspecies etiquette, studied the strange architecture of the station, and struggled to keep up with the fast-paced conversations of the alien delegates. Every species seemed to have its own language, gestures, and ways of expressing respect. It was fascinating, but exhausting. By the time Alex returned to their quarters, their body ached, and their mind buzzed with images of colors, sounds, and alien customs they barely understood. Alex collapsed onto the bed, staring at the ceiling, thinking about the day. "I wonder if I'll ever get used to this," they muttered, voice soft. "And that princess, she's so different. I wonder what she really thinks about humans." Unbeknownst to Alex, someone had overheard these words. Lyra, the young princess of the Zilari, was not like other aliens. Her kind had always been elegant and graceful, known for their intelligence and musical voices. Lyra herself was famous for her wit and playful curiosity, and tonight she had decided to wander the corridors, intrigued by human behavior. When Lyra passed by Alex's room, she heard the soft murmur of his voice. At first, she paused, thinking she had imagined it, but then she heard the words clearly. "So funny." The alien princess. Lyra's lips curved into a smile. A human, asleep, talking about her with curiosity and no fear. It was rare for humans to speak honestly about aliens. Most were cautious, polite, or nervous. But this one was candid, and somehow, it was charming. Quietly, she stepped closer to the door, trying not to make a sound. But Alex, exhausted and oblivious, rolled over and mumbled something else about her elegance and mysterious ways. At that moment, Lyra could not hold back her laughter. It started as a soft giggle, but grew into a melodic chuckle that echoed in the small room. Alex shot awake, eyes wide, heart pounding. Who's there?" they stammered. Sitting up, Lyra stepped fully into the room, her presence radiant yet gentle. Her eyes sparkled with amusement. "Relax, human," she said, her voice smooth and musical. "It's only me." Alex blinked, trying to process what they saw. A young alien, taller than most humans, with shimmering skin that reflected the soft light, and a crown-like adornment on her head, was standing in the room, and she was laughing. I didn't know anyone could hear me," Alex admitted, feeling a mix of embarrassment and awe. Lyra chuckled again, shaking her head. "It's amusing. Humans are very honest when they sleep. And you, Alex, have a very interesting way of thinking about us." Alex's face turned bright red. I didn't mean to. I didn't think anyone would hear me." "Don't worry," Lyra said, stepping closer with a playful smile. "I am not angry. In fact, I find it entertaining." Alex exhaled, feeling relief mixed with continued embarrassment. I didn't mean to be rude or anything. I was just wondering about you, about how different you are." Lyra's laughter softened into a warm smile. "Different? Perhaps. But humans are different too, in ways I admire. You are curious, fearless, and amusing." Alex blinked, surprised. "You admire humans?" Lyra nodded. "Yes. Many of my kind underestimate humans. They think you are primitive, weak, or simple. But you see things we often miss. You are clever in ways that don't require technology or tradition. You are adaptable. Alex felt a sense of pride mixed with disbelief. Really? We're not as ordinary as we seem? Lyra's eyes sparkled. Ordinary? Perhaps. But in a universe full of predictable beings, humans like you stand out. You are honest. You think differently. And sometimes, you make mistakes that turn into discoveries. That is something my people respect. Quietly. Close. Alex laughed nervously. Well, I didn't think I'd impress a princess by mumbling in my sleep. You did, Lyra said simply, and her smile widened. Now, come. I will show you something few humans ever see. Alex followed, still feeling a mix of awe and nervousness. Lyra led them through the corridors of the station, places that were usually restricted. They passed glowing panels, rooms filled with strange instruments, and corridors that seemed to curve impossibly. Alex's curiosity grew with every step, and Lyra's laughter occasionally rang out as Alex stumbled over a word or mispronounced a gesture. Finally, they reached a small observation deck. From here, the entire station seemed to float against the blackness of space, the distant planet below, glowing in shades of green and blue. Lyra stood by the edge, hands resting lightly on the railing, and gestured for Alex to look. Look at that, she said softly. Most humans never get to see this view. And even fewer get to see it with me. Alex's eyes widened. It's beautiful. I've seen pictures, but this is different. Real. Alive. Lyra laughed lightly. Pictures never do justice. And humans often miss the beauty right in front of them, because they are too busy thinking. Alex smiled. I don't think I'll ever forget this moment. Lyra turned to face Alex fully, her expression playful yet thoughtful. Do you know why I laughed when I heard you? Alex shook their head, curious. Because humans are honest, even in sleep, Lyra explained. You were not afraid. You spoke freely. And that is refreshing. Most beings I meet are careful, measured, pretending to be something they are not. But you are simply human. Alex felt warmth in their chest. I guess that's a compliment, right? Of course, Lyra said, her tone light but sincere. I like humans who are themselves. You remind me that honesty and curiosity are powerful, even in a universe of advanced beings. Alex looked down, slightly embarrassed but happy. I'm glad you heard me then. Even if it was by accident. Lyra smiled, a glimmer of amusement in her eyes. Accidents can lead to interesting things, like this moment, like this friendship. For the next hour, they simply watched the planet below, talking quietly about human life, alien customs, and the strange similarities between them. Alex shared stories of Earth's oceans, forests, and cities, while Lyra described her people's traditions, music, and the ways they communicated through colors and light. Despite the differences, they found laughter and understanding in the conversation. Alex realized that curiosity and honesty could bridge worlds. And Lyra realized that humans, in their simplicity and creativity, were capable of surprising insights. Eventually, Lyra glanced at the time. You should rest, she said softly. Tomorrow will be full of briefings and ceremonies. But I look forward to more conversations like this, human. You may surprise me yet. Alex nodded, feeling a mixture of excitement and nervousness. I look forward to it too. And thank you for not being angry about what I said in my sleep. Lyra's laughter returned, soft and musical. Angry? Never. Curiosity is a gift, Alex. And your honesty, well, it is rare, even among humans. Alex smiled, finally climbing back into bed. As they drifted to sleep, a thought lingered in their mind. Humans may be ordinary in many ways, but their curiosity, honesty, and willingness to explore the unknown could create connections no one expected, even with an alien princess. Outside the window, Lyra lingered for a moment longer, looking at the distant stars. She thought about the human beside her, asleep and dreaming, and she laughed softly to herself again. Perhaps humans were more remarkable than her people had ever given them credit for. And with that, the station's lights dimmed for the night, leaving Alex and Lyra connected in a quiet, unexpected way, a bond born from honesty, laughter, and the magic of discovery. The next morning, Alex woke with a mix of excitement and nervousness. Last night's encounter with Princess Lyra had left a warm impression, and the thought of seeing her again made their heart beat faster. After a quick breakfast in the station's common dining hall, Alex tried to focus on the day's briefings, but their mind kept wandering back to the princess. They were surprised when a soft tap came at the door. "Alex?" Lyra's voice was melodic, calm, but tinged with amusement. "Are you awake?" Alex scrambled to open the door. "Yes. Good morning, Princess Lyra." Lyra stepped inside, her eyes sparkling. "No need for formality right now. Today, I will show you a side of the station very few humans see. Are you ready?" Alex nodded eagerly. With that, Lyra led Alex through corridors they had never been allowed to enter. The walls shimmered with light panels, some showing distant stars, others displaying what looked like holographic maps of entire star systems. Alex's eyes widened at every turn. "This station is enormous," Alex said. "I can't believe humans get to see even a small part of it." Lyra smiled. "And most humans do not. But you are curious and brave enough to explore. That is why I brought you here." Their first stop was a hidden garden in the heart of the station. Unlike the standard greenhouses for food, this garden was purely for beauty. Strange alien plants glowed softly in shades Alex had never seen before. Some moved slightly, responding to their presence. Others released a faint, musical hum as they swayed. Alex gasped. "It's like another world. The colors, the sounds, it's incredible." Lyra laughed lightly. "We call it the Whispering Garden. Only royalty and select visitors may enter. I thought you might enjoy it." Quote. Alex crouched to examine a plant that looked like a blue crystal flower. Lyra nodded. "Yes, but only to those who listen carefully. Humans have the gift of noticing things many of my kind overlook." Alex grinned, feeling proud. I guess noticing things is kind of our specialty." Lyra chuckled. "It is. And it is why you humans are so interesting. You find patterns, solve problems, and make connections in ways others cannot." They wandered deeper into the garden. Lyra showed Alex plants that reacted to thought, fountains that flowed upward, and light paths that rearranged themselves depending on who walked on them. Alex stumbled a few times, laughing each time, and Lyra's laughter rang out with them. "You're clumsy," Lyra teased, but in a charming human way. Alex blushed. I guess it's part of being human." "Exactly," Lyra said. "And sometimes mistakes lead to discoveries." Alex felt their chest swell. Lyra's words reminded them of something their science teacher had once said. "Humans adapt. We learn from mistakes. We find new ways to succeed, where others fail." Now, hearing it from an alien princess felt even more special. After leaving the garden, Lyra led Alex to a room filled with ancient devices and instruments. Some looked like telescopes, others like strange machines with floating parts. "This room holds the history of our people," Lyra explained. "Our ancestors created many tools to study the universe, but some of these devices are delicate. They have not been used for centuries. Alex's eyes sparkled. Lyra raised an eyebrow but smiled. Perhaps, but you must be careful. These are old, fragile, and very tricky to operate. Alex leaned over one of the devices, examining the controls. It looks complicated. But maybe, if I try it this way. A small light blinked on. A holographic map appeared, showing stars, planets, and glowing lines connecting them. Alex's heart leapt. It worked! I didn't break it. Lyra's eyes widened slightly, then she laughed softly. Humans, you do surprise me. Most of my attendants would have damaged it within seconds. Yet you adapted. You found a way without instructions. Clever. Alex beamed. I guess our intuition can be useful sometimes. Lyra nodded. Yes. That is why humans have a place in this universe. You think differently, and your perspective often saves the day. Lyra nodded. Your perspective. They spent hours exploring the hidden rooms. Alex tried small experiments with the devices, always under Lyra's watchful eye. Sometimes, Alex failed, and sometimes, unexpectedly, they succeeded. Each time, Lyra's laughter and praise encouraged them. You see, Lyra said, as they paused to rest, the universe is vast and full of rules. But humans find ways around rules, not by breaking them, but by seeing what others cannot see. Alex smiled, feeling proud and inspired. So, humans are special? In our own way? Lyra nodded. Very special. Perhaps more than many beings realize. And that is why I like spending time with you. NetNarrator. You remind me that intelligence is not only measured by knowledge, but by curiosity, creativity, and courage. The next stop was a zero-gravity observation deck. Lyra gestured for Alex to float in the open space. Hesitant at first, Alex let go of the railing, and slowly, their body lifted. The sensation was strange but exhilarating. They laughed as they spun slowly, and Lyra's laughter echoed with theirs. You humans are amusing, Lyra said, floating nearby. You experience simple joys so intensely. We sometimes forget to enjoy the small moments. Alex grinned. Maybe that's our secret. We see the wonder in things, even if they seem ordinary to others. Lyra tilted her head, curious. And do humans always see things clearly? Not always, Alex admitted. Sometimes we make mistakes. But we learn. We try again. And often, we find something unexpected. Lyra nodded slowly, her eyes thoughtful. That is very valuable. Many beings rely on tradition, on what has always been done. Humans are not afraid to imagine new ways. They floated in silence for a few moments, watching the distant planet below. The colors shifted as sunlight reflected off its oceans and clouds. Alex felt a sense of peace, realizing that this moment, this experience, was unique in all of human history. Finally, Lyra spoke again. I want to show you one last thing today. She led Alex to a small chamber filled with holographic archives. This is where my people store knowledge, stories, history, music, art. Most humans never see it. Alex's eyes widened. It's beautiful. So much information, and it feels alive. Lyra smiled. It is alive. And humans like you, can learn from it in ways others cannot. Your perspective is fresh, imaginative, and honest. You see connections we often overlook. Alex reached out and touched a floating hologram of a star system. It responded to their movement, spinning and shifting. It's like it's listening to me. Lyra nodded. Yes. The archives adapt to the observer, and I am curious to see how a human perceives them. Over the next hour, Alex explored the archives, asking questions, pointing out patterns, and sharing ideas. Lyra listened, occasionally laughing at Alex's observations, and sometimes challenging them with questions of her own. Their conversation was lively, playful, and deeply engaging. "You humans are fascinating," Lyra said finally. "You approach knowledge differently. You are not afraid to question, to explore, to imagine. That is why I enjoy your company." Alex smiled. "And I enjoy yours. I never thought I'd see so much of the universe, let alone with a princess. It's amazing." Lyra's eyes twinkled. "You see, Alex, humans may not have our abilities, our centuries of training, or our elegance. But your curiosity, honesty, and creativity, they make you extraordinary." Alex felt a warmth in their chest. "Thank you, Princess Lyra. I think I understand now. Being human isn't ordinary at all." Lyra's laughter rang softly. "Good. Never forget that. And tomorrow, I think you will help me with something very important. But that will be another adventure." Alex returned to their quarters that evening, exhausted but exhilarated. They lay in bed, thinking about the day's experiences. From the Whispering Garden to the zero-gravity deck, from ancient devices to holographic archives, every moment had been filled with wonder, learning, and laughter. And in the quiet of the night, Alex realized something profound. Humans may not have the same powers or technology as aliens, but their ability to think, feel, and imagine gave them a unique strength, a strength that even a princess could admire. As Alex drifted to sleep, a smile on their face, they wondered what tomorrow would bring. But one thing was certain: being human, curious, and honest could open doors no one expected, even in the vast, complex universe. And somewhere, far away on the observation deck, Lyra watched the stars, thinking about the strange, wonderful human she had met, and laughing softly at the thought of the words he had muttered in his sleep. Humans, she realized, were full of surprises. The following morning, Alex awoke with a mix of excitement and nervousness. Today was different. Princess Lyra had told him they would be attending a diplomatic summit on a distant planet, a rare event where representatives from many alien civilizations would gather to discuss trade, culture, and cooperation. For most humans, this would be overwhelming. But for Alex, it was an adventure of a lifetime. When Lyra arrived, her eyes twinkled with amusement. "Are you ready, Alex?" she asked, her voice musical. Alex straightened up, trying to look confident. I think so. I mean, I'll do my best." Lyra laughed softly. "That is all I ask. Your best is often more than enough." They boarded Lyra's sleek starcraft, a design that looked almost alive, with smooth curves and soft lights that pulsed in rhythm with the ship's engines. Alex marveled at the interior. Floating panels displayed star maps, soft cushions adapted to their body, and windows revealed the glittering stars outside. During the journey, Lyra explained the purpose of the summit. Many of these species are cautious. They do not expect humans to contribute meaningfully, but your perspective, your honesty, and your creativity, they can surprise even the wisest delegates. Alex nodded, feeling a mixture of pride and anxiety. I'll try not to embarrass either of us." Lyra smiled. "Do not worry. Curiosity and honesty are never embarrassing." When they arrived on the planet, Alex was immediately struck by its beauty. Towers of crystal reflected sunlight in thousands of colors, and floating gardens drifted gently above the city. Alien delegates in strange, colorful attire, moved gracefully through the open plazas. "This is where we must be careful," Lyra said softly. "Observe first. Speak second." Humans often say things that surprise others, sometimes in a good way. As they entered the summit hall, Alex felt the tension. Delegates from various species regarded them with polite curiosity. Humans were rare here. Many whispered to one another, questioning what value a human could bring. Alex's heart raced, but he remembered Lyra's words. Curiosity and honesty are never embarrassing. Lyra led Alex to a seat beside her. "Just watch and listen at first," she advised. "And then, speak when you see an opportunity." The summit began. Delegates discussed trade routes, energy resources, and cultural exchanges. Alex listened carefully, observing subtle gestures, glances, and tones that others might miss. Slowly, he began to notice patterns in the conversation. Some delegates used indirect signals to indicate agreement. Others used silence to suggest disapproval. During a discussion about a proposed trade agreement, Alex noticed a delegate fidgeting with a small device. It was a subtle signal of discomfort. He leaned slightly toward Lyra and whispered, "I think that delegate doesn't agree, even though they said yes." Lyra's eyes widened slightly. "Interesting observation. Explain." Alex described the micro-expressions and subtle movements he had noticed. Lyra nodded, impressed. She subtly adjusted her proposal to address the delegate's concern. The small change prevented a potential misunderstanding, and the discussion continued smoothly. A few moments later, a technical question arose about energy transfer systems that none of the delegates seemed to fully understand. Alex spoke up, hesitantly at first, but then with confidence. "Maybe if we consider the system like this, the energy flows in a way that adapts to demand. It could balance automatically, without complex regulation." "Oh so. Oh so." The delegates paused. Some looked surprised, others intrigued. Lyra smiled. "Exactly. Humans often think in ways that differ from tradition. Observe how simple creativity can solve complex problems." Alex felt a thrill. His human perspective, simple, intuitive, and practical, was making a real difference. Delegates began asking him questions, and he answered with honesty and insight, never trying to impress, just offering observations. By the end of the morning session, Alex had gained the respect of several delegates. He noticed subtle nods, approving gestures, and even quiet smiles. Lyra whispered, "See? I told you humans could surprise." During lunch, Alex and Lyra walked through a floating garden outside the summit hall. Alex marveled at the gentle hover of the plants, the sound of distant waterfalls, and the aroma of alien flowers. Lyra laughed softly. "You humans notice beauty in ways others overlook. That is a gift. It makes your observations sharper, your ideas fresh, and your presence pleasant." Alex smiled, feeling proud but slightly embarrassed. I just notice things I like. I never thought it could be useful." Lyra tilted her head. "Everything about a human is useful. Your honesty, curiosity, empathy. These are strengths. Never underestimate them." After lunch, a session began where delegates shared cultural stories and traditions. Some stories were long, others short, but one particular dispute arose between two species over a cultural artifact. The debate grew tense, and neither side seemed willing to compromise. Alex noticed something. The artifact's value was symbolic, not material. He suggested a small exchange of ceremonial symbols that could satisfy both parties. Lyra watched, her eyes sparkling. "Go ahead," she whispered. Alex spoke clearly and simply, explaining the idea. The delegates looked at one another, then nodded in agreement. The dispute ended peacefully. A wave of relief and surprise passed through the room. Lyra placed a hand on Alex's shoulder. You see, humans have a talent for solving problems by thinking differently. Your creativity, honesty, and empathy, they are valuable in ways others cannot imagine. Alex grinned. I think I'm beginning to understand. Being human isn't a weakness here, it's an advantage. As the day went on, Alex continued to contribute in small but meaningful ways. Observing gestures, offering ideas, and asking questions that others overlooked, he helped the summit progress smoothly. Lyra occasionally laughed softly at his observations, teasing him about human quirks, but always with admiration. By evening, the summit concluded successfully. Delegates shook hands, or equivalent gestures, and exchanged polite words. Many approached Alex to thank him for his insights. He felt a mixture of pride and disbelief. A human, in a room full of powerful aliens, had made a difference. Later, Alex and Lyra returned to the starcraft. The ride back to the station was quiet, but comfortable. Alex stared out at the stars, reflecting on the day. You did very well, Lyra said finally. Humans often underestimate themselves. But your abilities, curiosity, empathy, creativity, are rare in this galaxy, and you use them to help others, not for fame or power. Alex smiled. Thank you, Princess Lyra. I think I've learned something important today. Being human can actually be extraordinary. 1. Lyra laughed softly. Yes, and it is not only extraordinary, it is needed. There are challenges in the universe that require exactly what humans offer: honesty, imagination, and courage. Alex laughed too. I never thought I'd hear that from an alien princess. Lyra tilted her head, eyes sparkling. And, you never thought you'd talk about me in your sleep and be heard. Life is full of surprises, isn't it? Alex grinned. Yes, it really is. Alex. That night, back on the station, Alex lay in bed reflecting on the day's events. They thought about the delegates, the challenges, and the small ways their perspective had made a difference. Humans, they realized, might not have the advanced technology or ancient knowledge of other species, but they had something just as powerful: curiosity, empathy, and the courage to think differently. As sleep overtook them, Alex smiled, thinking of Lyra and the adventures yet to come. Somewhere in the station, Lyra gazed at the stars, thinking of the human who had surprised her, laughed with her, and reminded her that even in a universe full of wonders, humans were extraordinary. In the quiet of the night, the bond between human and princess deepened, built on trust, laughter, and mutual respect. Alex realized that they were part of something greater than themselves, a bridge between humans and the stars, a reminder that even the smallest voices could make a universe of difference. The universe was vast, unpredictable, and full of mysteries. But for the first time, Alex felt ready to face it not with fear, but with curiosity, honesty, and the unique power of being human. And as the station drifted silently among the stars, a soft laugh echoed through the corridors, a reminder that sometimes the simplest qualities, like honesty and laughter, could connect worlds, inspire change, and make humans truly extraordinary.